Deion Sanders, the head coach of the Colorado Buffaloes, voiced his frustration regarding the lack of recognition his star players, his son, quarterback Shedeur Sanders, and standout cornerback, wide receiver Travis Hunter, received following their impressive Week 1 performances. During his weekly coaches show, Deion expressed bewilderment at how both players weren't given more attention, considering their standout efforts in Colorado's 31-26 victory over North Dakota State. Shedeur Sanders put on a show in the season opener, throwing for an astounding 445 yards and 4 touchdowns. 3 of those touchdown passes were caught by none other than Travis Hunter, who made his mark not only on offense but also on defense, playing nearly every snap on both sides of the ball. Hunter's dual-role performance was one of the highlights of the game, further establishing his reputation as one of the most dynamic players in college football. Despite their outstanding individual contributions, Deion Sanders was perplexed at why Shedeur and Hunter didn't seem to dominate the college football conversation as much as he felt they deserved. In a candid moment, Sanders speculated that their relatively muted recognition could be tied to the fact that he is their coach. "You've got a guy who threw for the most yards in college football. You've got a guy who's proved he's the most spectacular player in college football," Sanders said. "Shouldn't those two be talked about all week as the 2 leading Heisman guys or the weekly award winners? But it's almost like, no, we can't do that. Their coach is Deion Sanders. We're not going to do that. We're not going to let him get away with that." However, the lack of more substantial praise may also be due to the nature of Colorado's opponent. While North Dakota State is a powerhouse at the FCS level, dominating that division over the past decade, there is still a notable difference in competition level between FCS teams like the Bison and the FBS teams that Colorado will face in the Big 12 this season. Additionally, Colorado's narrow win over North Dakota State likely factored into the conversation. The game came down to the wire after a late coaching misstep, when Colorado opted to throw the ball on first down with less than 2 minutes remaining, giving the Bison one last chance. North Dakota State nearly capitalized, completing a Hail Mary that fell just 5 yards short of the end zone as time expired. Despite Deion Sanders' frustration, it's not entirely accurate to say that Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter didn't receive any recognition. Both players were prominently featured in national highlight packages following the game, and their performances were widely discussed in college football circles over the weekend. One reason for the attention Colorado received was their primetime slot on national television, playing on a Thursday night on ESPN, which naturally put their stars in the spotlight. Even though Shedeur wasn't included in the Davey O'Brien Awards Great 8, an accolade reserved for quarterbacks who excelled in Week 1, but all against FBS opponents, he and Hunter saw their Heisman Trophy odds improve significantly. According to BetMGM, Hunter is now ranked as the number 9 favorite with plus 1,500 odds, while Shedeur Sanders is right behind him at plus 2,000. Both players have secured their spots in the early Heisman conversation.